That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have returned from my data structures hiatus. Was it worth it? For once? Actually, yeah, it was worth it.
A few moments later.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I really want to learn Waylay, but there's just nobody out there who can teach me how to play while also being ever so slightly funny? Well, if you said yes, then this video is perfect for you. And if you said no, consider yourself blessed for clicking on my beautiful thumbnail, as you are now about to consume an insane amount of knowledge in a slightly less insane amount of time. Step 1. Close the game, delete it off your computer, open up Kovacs, and don't reinstall until I say so. Okay, you can reinstall now. Step 2. Waylay's abilities. This is one of the only agents who has genuinely confused me for the first hour of playing them. I could not figure out how the combination of keys to press worked to avoid doing this over and over and over. But eventually I figured out and learned how to do this. Fuck! Okay, for real now. Waylay is a duelist who has Jet, Chamber, and Neon's best abilities, all in one. Pretty sick, right? She has a dash that can be charged once or twice, with the first one having the ability to be used vertically. She has a tether ability to allow her to insta-teleport out of fights and be brought back to where the ability was first charged from, and finally, a stun that slows enemies to an insane degree. This includes enemies' fire rate, by the way. Her TP is great for taking stupid fights and then leaving at the perfect moment. And look at that, back to where we started. Her slow is great at delaying enemies who think they might push you. Here we wind up getting Teo stunned, so we throw out our slow to make sure they won't peek us before we peek them, and somehow manage to get a kill off of this. It's just absolutely way too free while using her teleport. Her ult gives you a speed boost, and then the beam will expand outwards and slow enemies in a wide range similarly to her C. Now, if only I could remember to shoot the Fade Dog, this could have actually been a really good play. But don't worry. You guys know exactly what time it is. It's time to bring out a knife kill. We can smell our prey from here, and I will sacrifice any amount of teammates to get this kill. I will keep my knife out no matter what. Now, unfortunately, the enemy team is full of haters and won't let me get this knife kill. The amount of greed absolutely disgusts me. Truly horrifying stuff to see in a Valorant game. Not as horrifying as his aim, though. Maybe one day I'll get the hang of this, but that day is definitely not today. Call my brain cells the US economy the way they're declining at alarming rates. If only the US had a get-out-of-jail-free card. 1000% tariff on China, effective immediately. I can't wait to walk into a store and ask for one 3080 Ti, only to be told that would be $8,000, sir. Yeah, in that case, I think I'll just pull out my secondary measure to purchase things in stores. Alright. I think I finally got the hang of it now. It's not necessarily great for engaging in fights, but rather your dash is good for setting up fights, which is exactly what we do by dashing into heaven, which sets us up perfectly to take out this sage who's not expecting us, before we can then just TP right back to safety, and before you know it, we're right back to where we started without ever having to do anything. And now using our slow, we can trap this guy in the corner, and he just really can't fight back. We see Sage has a Bucky, so take a couple warning shots, TP back, and now we know where she is. We can pull out our classic. She's just backing up into a corner, and we have a free kill in our hands. Niche, internet, micro, celebrity. Alright, now I'm definitely starting to get the hang of this character. Her dash is great for repositioning and also catching enemies off guard in certain cases like this one. And with all the space that we have taken, it makes it very easy for me to push further into their spawn to get even more kills while securing even more space. A perfect ult setup. Here we go, motherfuck! As you guys know, I'm something of a run and gun enjoyer, if you will. I like to partake in some tomfoolery involving moving at high speeds whilst bullets exit my gun, hitting my enemies. And of course, once I'm done with all of that, I like to go home and load up some Valorant to relax. Attempting knife kills always requires a backup plan in mind for an enemy's frontal lobe develops. Now unfortunately for me, mine's still developing, which leads to shit like this happening while I'll try out new things for the first time. It's very important to highlight the change of pace that this character brings. It's been a while since I added another movement-based character. The last movement character was Neon, and you might be thinking, well, that wasn't too long ago, right? Yeah, it was 3 years ago. 3 fucking years ago. 3 years ago, these videos didn't even exist. If you've been with this channel since the beginning, Neon has literally been out longer than that. Crazy to think about. And if you are new to the channel, consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it really helps out to make all these videos. And now we cut to Bias Raindrop, who usually is left in the role of losing a round in only a way she could. But in this case, it looks like she's actually locking the round down and taking care of it all by herself. I don't think we've ever seen a display of raw skill on this channel ever before. The gods tremble before her as they watch her dismantle the entire enemy team one by one to secure an ace. I usually wind up figuring out something about agents after I'm done recording, which is exactly what happened here as I realized I was severely underutilizing her C, which can make dashing at enemies much easier, but it works up ending out because I'm so much better. Her ult is actually very interesting, as it's not exactly as easy as you think it would be to use. It does require some timing as well as having intel on where the enemy team is playing, and if you don't get everyone caught in it, it's often just winds up being just a one and done kill, unfortunately. I really do love the double dash because it can lead to some great tempo changes to catch people off guard. Speaking of off guard, another trick I learned was to immediately strafe as soon as the dash is over, as enemies will usually try to kill you as soon as you land. If they one-tap you, you're going to lose the fight either way, but strafing is a great way to throw their aim off and try to get the kill yourself. Another great strategy is using your E as a sort of intel gathering. You don't even have to take your gun out, you can use it straight for intel and make sure you have your E ready to teleport right back to where you want to do from the beginning. Now you're all safe and you know exactly where the enemies are playing in. Your dash is also great for hunting people down who are trying to escape you, but just don't understand that I can catch up to basically any agent. Well, maybe except Neon. You guys have to remember that my main goal is to win, followed only closely to pissing people off, which is basically what this character was made for. I don't even know if this character is good in comp, but what I do know is she's fun as fuck to play on unrated. While this ult may have not gone exactly the way I wanted it to, we still wind up being able to take a huge amount of space and get 3 kills off of it. While I definitely should have used my dash better, and by better I mean, used it at all to take space, it worked out the way I wanted to. Speaking of your dash, it's also great to get over obstacles such as walls in order to take space and get kills on enemies who don't suspect you. You can even catch multiple enemies off guard. This is the kind of space I expect my duelists to take. Now unfortunately, whenever I load into a ranked game, I get Arena who just decides to sit behind our whole team and do this whenever they get into a gunfight. Absolutely fucking fantastic. This is a great example of the tempo you need to play on this character. Playing slow is only going to give the enemy times more time to set up to get ready to counter you. You need to take it into your own hands and throw them off guard. Think of it like baseball. When a pitcher throws a curveball on the first pitch, the batter is now timed to that speed. So when they come back with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, the next pitch, they're way off balance and can't catch up. That's exactly what you need to do here. If you're quick, enemies just can't even see you dash across sight, which can allow you to get free picks on very unsuspecting enemies. Chaos and confusion is exactly what you're looking for every single time you lock in Waylay. Just remember, the ability doesn't make the player makes the abilities. That didn't even make any fucking sense. My point is that you need to take the abilities and use them in different ways than what the enemies are expecting. You can't just expect to use the abilities and they carry you through the grounds. You need to use them in effective ways every single round. And I'm not gonna lie, if I was this guy, I'd probably just consider uninstalling. Now, I'm not sure how hot of a take this is, but I do actually think that Waylay can wind up being better than Jet, just because she has a dash. But the dash isn't used as a defensive one like Jet's usually is. Waylay's teleport can act as the lifeline, while the dash can be offensive, which I think is very interesting, especially in pro play. But hey, only time will tell. Her teleport is so strong since it's instant, you give the enemies no time to react to it at all. And with your C also being instant, it's a great way to learn how to counter enemies, as all you have to do is throw it as soon as you hear someone, they get instantly stunned, and it's basically a free kill for you. Marking your tether in the right spot is also very important, so you don't wind up in this exact scenario. Not ideal. You do need to understand the risks of her dash, because it won't always work. It's great for catching people off guard, but if they're ready for it, it'll basically be like handing them a free kill, as your gun does not get pulled out immediately. It can also be very disorienting as you land, and can be very weird if you don't track the enemy properly and it can wind up getting you or your team killed. So be mindful on where the enemies are and where you are whenever you use this ability. Now unfortunately, sometimes enemies do this to you. You do everything perfect, but the gods just aren't on your side and you get absolutely obliterated by a slowed clove sheriff. But that's alright, just use run and gun, it's always the method, trust me. Don't worry, the sheriff god has returned, and unfortunately it looks like the sheriff god will be going right back into hibernation as this gecko completely shuts us down. But don't worry, the sheriff god is definitely still in hibernation, what the fuck? Alright, maybe he's gonna awake this round. Nope, definitely not. All of these abilities to be stopped by one single Sage slow. Now, this is exactly why you need teammates backing you up. As you can see, all it takes is one Reyna blind before Sage eventually throws this slow, and there's nothing any of us can do anymore. I've used all these abilities, all for nothing. Now at this point you're probably realizing you've been watching me dash at enemies for about 9 minutes. And I think this video for once has actually been ever so slightly informative, which is more than you guys must be used to. So with all this extra knowledge, what are the key takeaways from this agent? 1. Hey, this character is actually pretty fun. 2. A duelist who actually feels like they can take duels on their own. Pretty cool. 3. Make sure to warm up your aim, please. And 4. Of course guys, the 4th rule is to have fun. No, I'm just kidding. Your only goal is to win.